Kate Middleton has been married to Prince William since 2011, and it seems that she has inherited jewelry from Elizabeth's personal collection. The collection of jewels inherited by Kate is reportedly comprised of 300 pieces and is worth $110 million per Radar Online.
A velvet box, a whispered promise, and one decision that would shake the British monarchy to its core. A gift meant to honor the past has stirred a storm in the present, and the palace is still holding its breath. What if I told you that buried beneath Windsor Castle, sealed for decades, lies a secret that could redefine everything we know about royal succession, not through bloodlines, not through titles, but through something far more dangerous: character. Before the truth comes to light, brace yourself. The secret you're about to hear will upend the royal narrative like never before. The exchange that shook the crown, picture this. Clarence House. Two women standing alone in a private room. No cameras, no witnesses, no escape from what's about to unfold. Princess Alexandra, her hands trembling, places a velvet box into Catherine's palms. Inside, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother's most sacred heirlooms. But here's what sent shockwaves through the palace. Queen Camilla had been completely bypassed. This wasn't just inheritance. This was a revolution wrapped in silk and sealed with a secret that had been hidden for over 2 decades. Catherine stood frozen, not from fear, but from the weight of realization washing over her. Alexandra's words cut through the silence like a blade. They were meant for you. 4 words, 20 years in the making. And in that instant, the entire rhythm of the monarchy shifted. Within minutes, controlled chaos descended. Guards scrambled to erase entry logs. Security footage mysteriously redirected. Courtiers exchanged urgent glances, their faces pale with the implications. Why? Because these weren't ordinary jewels. These heirlooms belonged to the Queen Mother's personal line of succession, a line determined not by royal protocol, but by something the palace could never control: trust. And the woman who now held them wasn't the reigning queen consort. It was Catherine. But what makes this even more extraordinary is Catherine's history with the Queen Mother's jewels. The connection runs deeper than anyone realized. You see, on her wedding day in 2011, Catherine wore the Cartier Halo Scroll tiara.
But tiara indulgence isn't a task as straightforward as fairy tales make it seem. Many age-old customs limit the times and places a tiara can be worn. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams told Insider, "They are worn on formal white tie events and state occasions such as state banquets."
Originally commissioned by King George VI for the Queen Mother in 1936, which was passed to Queen Elizabeth II on her 18th birthday in 1944. That wasn't random. That was the first signal. Over the years, Catherine has been entrusted with some of the most historically significant pieces from royal collections. Queen Elizabeth II personally loaned Catherine the £66 million Nizam of Hyderabad necklace, a platinum and diamond Cartier piece given to the Queen as a wedding gift in 1947. These weren't casual loans. They were tests, and Catherine passed every single one. The whispers began immediately. Some insisted the Queen Mother had foreseen the fractures threatening the family's unity.
After the death of her husband, King George VI, Queen Elizabeth's mother earned the unofficial title of Queen Mother and maintained her positive public image for 50 more years, before passing away at 101.
Others believed Alexandra was executing a plan sealed decades ago, a final attempt to restore a moral order the monarchy had abandoned. But one truth stood above all else. Catherine had become the keeper of something the palace never intended to resurface. The prophecy written in secret. To understand what was in that box, we need to travel back in time. Deep within her private chambers in her final years, the Queen Mother drafted a secret annex to her will, one that would determine who truly carried her legacy. And it contained a name. Not Camilla's, Catherine's. But here's the shocking part. They had never even met when the Queen Mother wrote it. She described Catherine as a child of grace, someone she believed would one day enter the royal family and need to be protected, shielded from the politics of power, preserved as the soul the crown might desperately need. The Queen Mother wasn't just planning for succession. She was planning for survival. Think about what she'd witnessed in her own lifetime. As Queen Alexandra, her predecessor, had endured a husband's endless affairs with dignity, King Edward VII allegedly had as many as 55 mistresses. The Queen Mother understood that true royal strength wasn't found in titles, but in character, forged through adversity. And she'd seen that same steel forming in descriptions of a young woman not yet part of the family. Among the sealed heirlooms was the coronation brooch, the very piece the Queen Mother wore at her daughter's coronation in 1953. It had vanished from every exhibit, every portrait in recent years. Why? Because it had been deliberately hidden away. On its back, a private engraving only 2 people knew existed. For the rightful queen. The Queen Mother had separated her most intimate heirlooms from the official crown jewels, placing them under a different designation entirely. Personal, moral, untouchable by protocol. In her diary, she recorded her fears of what she called the erosion from within. She wrote of pretenders, a chilling word for someone so careful with language, warning of individuals who would rise through position but lack the spiritual grace to lead. She never named names. She didn't have to. But alongside these heirlooms were pieces Catherine had already proven worthy of wearing. Catherine has worn sapphire and diamond fringe earrings that originally belonged to the Queen Mother. Pieces with distinctive Art Deco design that she's chosen for formal occasions over nearly a decade. Each time Catherine wore them, she was unknowingly auditioning for a role written decades before she was born. Only one person was entrusted with these secrets, Princess Alexandra. For decades, Alexandra kept the jewels hidden, the diary locked, and the promise buried beneath years of shifting monarchs and manufactured unity. But who is Princess Alexandra? And why did the Queen Mother choose her? Born on Christmas Day, 1936, Princess Alexandra was Queen Elizabeth II's first cousin and held a special place in the royal family due to her reluctance to share family secrets, which fostered a unique connection with the Queen. Royal historian Hugo Vickers highlighted that successful royals prioritize support over competition with the Queen, and Alexandra embodied this principle perfectly. She wasn't chosen because of rank, she was chosen because of silence. Her ability to guard the sacred in a palace full of whispers. Alexandra waited through Diana's death, through Charles's marriage to Camilla, through Queen Elizabeth's entire reign. She waited for the right moment. In 2016, Queen Elizabeth hosted a celebration at Buckingham Palace in honor of Princess Alexandra's 80th birthday, a testament to their unbreakable bond and mutual trust. And when she saw Catherine moving with restraint and purpose, bearing the weight of relentless scrutiny with calm resilience, wearing the Queen Mother's jewels with quiet dignity at state dinners and royal events, Alexandra knew. The time had come. The Queen Consort's nightmare. When word reached Queen Camilla that heirlooms had been passed to Catherine in secret, she didn't just react. She shattered. Locked in her private study for hours, her screams reportedly echoed through palace halls. This wasn't about jewelry. This was humiliation, legacy theft, erasure from royal history. For decades, Camilla had walked a tightrope between scandal and survival, carefully building her place beside Charles, shielding herself from public resentment and Diana's ghost. The numbers tell a brutal story. Even as recently as November 2021, only 14% of the British public wanted to see Camilla take the title of Queen. By contrast, 39% believed she should only be Princess Consort, while 30% said she should have no title at all. Think about that. After years of carefully orchestrated rehabilitation, after marrying Charles in 2005, after decades of public service, 7 out of 10 Britons still didn't believe she deserved to be called Queen. But the Queen Mother's heirlooms weren't just relics. They were a final, irreversible verdict that cut deeper than any poll ever could. And it hadn't gone in her favor. The cruelest part: Camilla had actually begun to believe she'd won. In February 2022, Queen Elizabeth II made a historic announcement, stating it was her sincere wish that Camilla be known as Queen Consort when Charles became king. A poll conducted just days later showed that 55% of Britons supported the move, a dramatic improvement from previous years. Camilla appeared publicly at the Nourish Hub Community Kitchen, telling reporters she felt very, very honored and very touched by the Queen's endorsement. For a moment, it seemed the tide had finally turned in her favor. But here's what Camilla didn't know. While Queen Elizabeth II had publicly given her blessing, the Queen Mother, Elizabeth's own mother, had written a very different verdict decades earlier. And that verdict was now in Catherine's hands. The cruel irony? History was repeating itself in the most devastating way. Queen Alexandra, Camilla's predecessor from over a century ago, had endured her husband King Edward VII's affair with Alice Keppel, Camilla's own great-great-grandmother. Alexandra bore that humiliation with grace, even allowing Alice to visit Edward on his deathbed. The Queen Mother had watched her mother-in-law, Queen Alexandra, navigate infidelity with dignity. She'd learned what true queenship looked like. And now, her heirlooms declared that Camilla, descendant of the woman who had caused such pain, would never carry that legacy forward. Royal biographer Christopher Anderson revealed that the Queen Mother particularly detested Camilla because she was throwing a wrench in the works. Because of Camilla, the monarchy was kind of brought to the brink of destruction. Those weren't just harsh words. They were a judgment that would outlive the Queen Mother herself. Even more damning, some sources suggest the Queen Mother never approved of Camilla because she wanted Charles to marry one of the Spencer family granddaughters, Diana's own relatives, as they were connected to her close friend, Lady Fermoy. The Queen Mother's choice had always been clear, and it was never Camilla. When Camilla confronted Charles, the air between them turned brittle. She demanded clarity, reeling from being left out of a history she believed she'd rightfully earned. But Charles, stunned and cornered, gave her only this: "They were your mother's. Not ours, not mine, yours." The words landed like a slap. Even the man she'd stood beside through war and scandal couldn't shield her from a legacy she'd never been invited to inherit. The relationship that had once seemed unshakable now showed cracks. Royal experts noted that even Charles's own sons had never accepted her. Prince Harry later revealed in his memoir, Spare, that both he and William had begged their father not to marry Camilla. "We support you," they told him. "We endorse Camilla. Just please don't marry her. Just be together, Pa." According to royal insiders, William and Harry had always distrusted Camilla and felt resentment toward her because of their devotion to their mother. They never felt comfortable opening up to her in any real way. Even worse, the boys' distrust deepened when they discovered Camilla had been leaking stories to the press to make herself look better. A betrayal that would never be forgotten. Behind palace gates, courtiers began speaking in hushed tones about the sudden frost between the king and queen consort. Doors that once remained open now stood quietly shut. Camilla retreated into solitude, her hard-won legitimacy beginning to feel like an illusion. And the public opinion she'd fought so hard to change, still haunted by shadows. As of November 2022, royal biographer Christopher Anderson noted that only 14% of people in Great Britain were willing to accept her as queen, even after Queen Elizabeth's endorsement. By 2022, while Camilla's favorability had risen to 44%, she remained far behind Catherine's 66%, William's 65%, and the late Queen Elizabeth's 73%. The message was clear. The public had made their choice. And just like the Queen Mother, they had chosen Catherine. In the back of her mind, a haunting realization settled. The monarchy's memory is long. The Queen Mother hadn't just rejected her. She'd rejected what Camilla represented in a lineage stretching back over a century. And now, even from beyond the grave, that rejection echoed through every whispered conversation, every sideways glance, every piece of jewelry that would never touch her skin. The Queen Mother's final message was devastating in its simplicity. Some women are born for the crown. Others will always remain pretenders. The silent revolution begins. The silent revolution didn't begin with words. It began with Catherine. At a quiet charity event, she arrived wearing something no one had seen in public since 1953. The Queen Mother's coronation brooch. No announcement, no fanfare. Just a single jewel that spoke louder than any royal decree. Within hours, headlines exploded. The Queen Mother has spoken. Social media crowned Catherine the Queen of Hearts and History. And it was no accident. For years, Catherine has used the royal jewels to communicate without saying a word, wearing pieces chosen by Queen Elizabeth II herself, more than 50 times since the late Queen's passing. Every gem carried a message. Every appearance was a quiet test. And Catherine passed them all. But the brooch was only part of the story. Inside the velvet box Princess Alexandra delivered lay something far more powerful. A sealed letter written by the Queen Mother before her death. Its message was blunt and unmistakable. Virtue over vanity. The crown's future, she wrote, must rest not on ambition, but on character. In those lines, Catherine's name might as well have been written in ink. Charles understood immediately. When he learned of the brooch and the letter, he didn't argue. He simply whispered, "Let it rest." It wasn't defeat, it was acknowledgement. Princess Alexandra later revealed the truth. The Queen Mother had planned this for decades. She believed the monarchy would someday need a woman who led with grace instead of force, who restored what had been forgotten. And Catherine, she said, was that woman. But the most unsettling part? The box Alexandra carried was only one of many. Deep within Windsor's vault lie several more, marked QM, sealed since 2002. Rumored to contain warnings, prophecies, and instructions for crises yet to come. Historians whisper of a hidden ledger, kept by a figure known only as the Keeper. If one box revealed a prophecy, what do the others hold? Catherine may have unknowingly become the key to that legacy. Through the jewels she wears, some unseen for nearly a century, she carries the silent thread connecting modern royalty to its deepest past. Historians call this moment the pivot, the point where moral inheritance outweighs ceremonial entitlement. And if the Queen Mother's sealed boxes are truly her final intervention, then Catherine's rise is only the beginning. The crown may rest on familiar heads, but within Windsor's deepest vaults, echoes of the Queen Mother's voice still wait to be heard. The question isn't whether more secrets exist. The question is, who will dare to open them next? If this story shocked you, imagine what else is buried beneath those palace walls. Hit that like button if you want us to dig deeper. Subscribe so you never miss what happens next. And drop a comment. Do you think Catherine was chosen, or was it destiny? The Queen Mother's jewels have spoken, but her words seal.
So she gave Alexandra instructions, likely shared in private conversations rather than formal legal documents. Certain pieces should go to a woman who demonstrated service without self-promotion, grace under relentless pressure, warmth that didn't require performance, and an ability to connect with ordinary people genuinely. The Queen Mother couldn't have known in 2002 exactly who that person would be. Catherine hadn't even met Prince William yet. But she trusted that over time, the right person would reveal herself through actions rather than words. Alexandra accepted this responsibility with the seriousness it deserved. For over 2 decades, she safeguarded those pieces, watching the royal family evolve through difficult periods. She observed William mature into his role as future king. She witnessed his relationship with Catherine develop from university romance into a partnership that would define the monarchy's future. And she watched Catherine face challenges that would have broken many people. The media scrutiny Catherine endured, especially before her engagement, was brutal. Tabloids dubbed her Weighty Katie, suggesting she was desperately clinging to William, hoping for a proposal. Her family's business ventures were mocked. Her mother was criticized for being too ambitious. Every outfit, every expression, every appearance was analyzed endlessly. Yet Catherine never complained publicly, never sought sympathy, never tried to manipulate public opinion. She simply kept living her life with quiet dignity. After the wedding in 2011, the pressure only intensified. Catherine had to produce heirs while the world watched and speculated. She had to master royal protocols while maintaining her own personality. She had to support her husband while carving out her own meaningful role. And she had to do all of this knowing that every mistake would be magnified and every success would be attributed to good coaching rather than personal merit. Alexandra watched all of this unfold. She saw Catherine handle intrusive photographers, unfair criticism, and the impossible challenge of being both accessible and dignified. She noticed how Catherine approached royal engagements, listening more than talking, making people feel genuinely seen, focusing on issues that actually mattered to ordinary families. Catherine championed early childhood development, mental health awareness, and addiction recovery without turning these causes into personal brand-building exercises. Public opinion polls consistently showed Catherine as one of the most trusted and admired royals.
Getting tips from Her Majesty, keeping it real with her kids, and stepping into the spotlight. After years in the public eye, here's proof that Kate Middleton is ready to be queen.
But more importantly to Alexandra, she demonstrated the qualities the Queen Mother had valued: steadiness, authenticity, service without seeking credit. By 2023, Alexandra felt confident that the time had come to fulfill her promise. The Clarence House handover. The actual transfer happened at Clarence House, the Queen Mother's London residence during her final decades, and now King Charles's official residence. The location wasn't chosen randomly. It carried deep symbolic meaning. These rooms had witnessed the Queen Mother's life after King George VI's death in 1952. She'd hosted grandchildren here, entertained friends, maintained the traditions she cherished. The walls practically breathed her memory. Alexandra invited Catherine for what appeared to be an ordinary private meeting. No press were notified. No photographers waited outside. No official entry appeared in the court circular, the daily record of royal activities. In the world of royal protocol, this absence of documentation was itself significant. When something doesn't get recorded, it's usually because it's considered deeply personal family business, rather than official monarchy business. In a private sitting room filled with the Queen Mother's preferred style, chintz fabrics, family photographs, fresh flowers arranged just so, Alexandra presented several jewelry boxes. She opened them carefully, revealing pieces that hadn't been seen in over 20 years. There was the pearl and diamond brooch, of course, but also other treasures. Bracelets, earrings, perhaps a necklace or two. Each piece came with a story. Alexandra explained where each item had come from, who had given it to the Queen Mother, when she'd worn it, and why it had mattered to her. This wasn't just a property transfer. It was a passing of memory, of meaning, of legacy. The jewelry represented moments in the Queen Mother's life: her wedding, wartime visits to bomb-damaged neighborhoods, quiet family celebrations.
Later, they were greeted by the mayor of Salford and proceeded to another badly bombed area, meeting and talking with many of the workers.
Official duties performed with grace. Catherine reportedly listened with deep attention, understanding immediately the significance of the moment. These weren't just beautiful objects to wear at glamorous events. They represented trust, recognition, and a vote of confidence from beyond the grave. The Queen Mother, through Alexandra, was saying that Catherine embodied the values she'd held most dear. Sources close to the situation say Catherine was profoundly moved. She expressed gratitude not just for the jewelry itself, but for the trust it represented. She asked questions about each piece, wanting to understand its full history before accepting it. This response apparently confirmed for Alexandra that she'd made the right choice. Catherine understood that wearing these pieces came with responsibility, not just privilege. The meeting ended quietly. Catherine left Clarence's house carrying history in carefully wrapped packages. No security logs recorded what she brought out. No insurance forms were filed that day. The transfer had happened in a space beyond official documentation, in that realm where family decisions transcend institutional protocol. Queen Camilla's unexpected exclusion. News of the jewelry transfer didn't reach Queen Camilla through official channels because there were no official channels involved. Instead, she learned about it the way most shocking personal news travels, through a worried aide who'd heard whispers and felt she should know. The aide apparently tried to soften the information, suggesting initially that perhaps there'd been some misunderstanding. But the reality settled in quickly. The Queen Mother's most personal jewelry, pieces connected to private family moments and emotional memories, had gone to Catherine without any consultation with Camilla whatsoever. No courtesy notification, no explanation, no acknowledgement of her position as Queen Consort. Camilla kept her composure publicly. She spent years developing an impressive ability to maintain dignity under difficult circumstances. But those close to her noticed the impact. Her usual quick humor disappeared for a while. Her posture seemed stiffer during public appearances. The hurt wasn't about the monetary value of jewelry. Camilla has access to extraordinary pieces as Queen Consort. It was about what the exclusion signified. To Camilla, this felt like a message from history itself. Despite her official title, despite years of working hard to gain public acceptance, despite her marriage to the king, she still hadn't earned the emotional acceptance that really matters in family dynamics. The Queen Mother, even from beyond the grave, had made a judgment about who truly belonged in the monarchy's inner emotional circle, and that judgment hadn't included her. The situation reveals something uncomfortable but important about royal life. There's formal acceptance, measured by titles and ceremonies and official positions. Queen Camilla has all of that. She was crowned alongside Charles. She performs royal duties constantly. She holds an official rank. But then there's emotional acceptance.
I know she will bring to the demands of her new role the steadfast devotion to duty on which I had come to rely so much.
The kind that comes from public affection and family approval. That can't be granted through ceremony. It has to be earned over time through authenticity and connection. And the Queen Mother's decision suggested that Catherine had earned it in a way Camilla hadn't. King Charles found himself in an extraordinarily awkward position. He loves his wife and has fought for years to secure her acceptance and recognition. He wanted her crowned as Queen Consort, not Princess Consort as some had suggested. He's worked to rehabilitate her reputation after the Diana years. He supports her charitable work and wants the public to appreciate her contributions. But he also couldn't challenge what had happened. The jewelry transfer was based on his grandmother's wishes she'd shared with Alexandra decades ago. To question or reverse the decision would essentially be rejecting the Queen Mother's judgment. It would also publicly highlight the very divisions that everyone was trying to downplay. Charles reportedly chose to say nothing, allowing the situation to stand as it was. Palace advisors understood the danger clearly. Any official comment would draw more attention to an already sensitive situation. Trying to reverse the transfer would suggest either that Catherine was unworthy or that Camilla was grasping for recognition she hadn't earned. Neither message would serve the monarchy well. The safest approach was dignified silence, letting the decision speak for itself. Prince William's position was unambiguous. He supported Catherine keeping the jewelry completely. He'd watched his wife handle incredible pressure for over a decade with grace and strength. He'd seen her build genuine connections with people across Britain. He understood why his great-grandmother would have wanted Catherine to receive these particular pieces. William's support removed any possibility of the situation being quietly reversed. Inside palace walls, the situation created new tensions. Staff members found themselves navigating careful conversations, aware that loyalties were being tested. Those close to Camilla felt wounded on her behalf, believing she'd been treated unfairly after working so hard for acceptance. Those aligned with William and Catherine felt vindicated, seeing this as confirmation that Catherine represented the monarchy's best future. Public-facing activities continued normally. Royal engagements happened on schedule. Official statements were issued appropriately. Family members appeared together when required. But the atmosphere had changed. Where coordination between households had once felt natural, there were now careful pauses, measured words, and a new awareness of underlying divisions. Catherine's public debut of the jewelry. Catherine waited several months before wearing any of the inherited pieces publicly. When she finally did, she chose the pearl and diamond brooch for a community engagement focused on early childhood development, one of her signature causes. The choice of event seemed deliberate, connecting the jewelry to meaningful work rather than pure glamour. She stepped out of her car that morning looking composed and professional in a tailored coat dress. Then people noticed the brooch pinned carefully to her shoulder. Photographers recognized it immediately and adjusted their focus, capturing it from multiple angles. Social media erupted within minutes as images spread online. "That's definitely the Queen Mum's brooch," royal watchers commented. "I remember her wearing it in the 1990s. Older viewers felt a wave of recognition and nostalgia. The Queen Mother had been beloved for her warmth during difficult times, particularly during World War II when she'd refused to leave London despite the bombing. Seeing her signature jewelry again felt like a gentle return of that reassuring presence. Television news replayed the footage repeatedly, discussing the brooch's history and significance. Newspapers ran articles about the Queen Mother's style and what Catherine's wearing of this particular piece might signify. The coverage was respectful and thoughtful rather than gossipy. Commentators recognized they were witnessing something meaningful about continuity and legacy. Catherine herself didn't draw attention to the brooch or explain its presence. She simply went about her scheduled activities, meeting with families, discussing early childhood development programs, listening to parents describe their challenges and hopes. The brooch was there, visible and significant, but she didn't make it the focus of the day. This restraint seemed entirely appropriate. The jewelry was meant to honor legacy, not create personal publicity. Public reaction was overwhelmingly positive. People commented that Catherine wearing the Queen Mother's jewelry felt right and natural. Many said it made them feel the monarchy was in good hands for the future. The connection between two women separated by generations, but united by similar qualities of warmth and dedication, resonated deeply with viewers. Inside the palace, Princess Alexandra saw the images and felt a quiet satisfaction. She'd carried the responsibility of honoring the Queen Mother's wishes for over 2 decades. Seeing Catherine wear the brooch with such understanding and grace confirmed that she'd fulfilled her promise correctly. The jewelry had found its rightful home. King Charles also noticed, though he made no public comment. He understood what the moment represented, a passing of legacy from one era to another, from his grandmother to his daughter-in-law. It connected past, present, and future in a way that formal ceremonies couldn't achieve. Charles recognized that sometimes legacy is passed through something as small and elegant as a brooch. Understanding the deeper meaning. This jewelry transfer reveals essential truths about how the monarchy actually functions. Britain's constitutional monarchy operates according to clear legal rules regarding succession, titles, and official roles. The line of succession is fixed. The crown jewels pass according to protocol. Official duties are assigned based on rank. But the emotional heart of the institution, the part that makes people care about the royal family, that creates genuine connection between monarchy and citizens, operates according to different, unwritten rules. This emotional dimension can't be commanded or manufactured. It has to be earned through authenticity, consistency, and genuine demonstration of the values people hope to see in their royal family. The Queen Mother understood this instinctively. She knew that public affection wasn't about glamour or spectacle. It came from showing up during difficult times, from sharing people's struggles, from demonstrating that privilege came with genuine responsibility. During the Blitz, she and King George VI repeatedly visited bombed neighborhoods,
And Queen in London continue the inspection of the areas which have suffered in the nightly bombing of
offering comfort to families who'd lost everything. They could have stayed safely away from danger, but they chose to share their people's suffering. That decision created a bond that lasted her entire life. Catherine seems to understand the same principle. She doesn't chase attention or try to manufacture popularity. She focuses on work that genuinely matters, supporting early childhood development, raising awareness about mental health.
Kate's particular focus is on mental health in the young.
Since beginning my work in area,
Helping families affected by addiction. She engages with people directly, listening to their stories, learning from their experiences. She doesn't perform empathy. She demonstrates it through consistent action over years. This approach has built genuine public trust. Surveys consistently show Catherine among the most admired royals, but more importantly, people describe her in ways that suggest real respect rather than celebrity fascination. They say she seems genuine, down to earth, really interested in helping. These aren't qualities that can be faked indefinitely under the intense scrutiny royal life demands. The Queen Mother's decision to direct her personal jewelry towards someone with these qualities, rather than simply to whoever held the highest rank, reflects a profound understanding of what sustains monarchy long-term. Institutions survive not through wealth or tradition alone, but through emotional legitimacy, the sense that the people at the center deserve their position and use it responsibly. For Queen Camilla, this situation highlights an uncomfortable reality. She's worked tremendously hard to build her reputation and secure public acceptance. She performs hundreds of royal duties annually, often taking on unglamorous assignments without complaint. She's championed important causes like literacy and domestic violence prevention. She stood by Charles through difficult periods and supported him in his role as king. But she carries historical baggage that Catherine doesn't. Her relationship with Charles during his marriage to Diana created lasting controversy. Many people, particularly older generations who remember Diana's suffering,
the other woman, a homewrecker, someone who destroyed a modern fairy tale, someone who lived in Princess Diana's shadow,
have never fully forgiven that betrayal. Camilla has spent years trying to overcome this history, and she's made significant progress. But she's building acceptance gradually through consistent work, whereas Catherine entered the family with a clean slate and built trust organically. The jewelry transfer doesn't diminish Camilla's official position or her genuine contributions, but it does acknowledge that emotional legacy, the kind the Queen Mother valued most, follows a different path than official titles. It goes to those who embody certain timeless qualities regardless of their rank. The future of royal legacy. The appearance of the Queen Mother's brooch signals that more pieces will likely emerge over time. According to sources familiar with the transfer, Catherine received multiple items during that private meeting at Clarence House. She's chosen to introduce them gradually into her public wardrobe rather than wearing everything immediately. This measured approach shows respect for the jewelry's significance and allows each piece to be appreciated individually. Royal watchers are now paying closer attention to Catherine's jewelry choices, looking for other items that might have belonged to the Queen Mother. Each new appearance creates opportunities to remember and honor the woman who helped steady the monarchy through some of its most challenging decades. This gradual revelation of the Queen Mother's jewelry serves another purpose. It keeps her memory alive and relevant for younger generations who never knew her. When people see Catherine wearing these pieces, they become curious about their history. They learn about the Queen Mother's life, her values, her contributions. Legacy gets passed forward not just through objects, but through the stories those objects carry. For the monarchy as an institution, this jewelry transfer represents something hopeful. It shows that merit and character still matter, that the emotional connection between royals and public hasn't been completely replaced by celebrity culture and spectacle. It demonstrates that thoughtful people within the family are thinking carefully about what values should define the monarchy's future. Catherine receiving the Queen Mother's personal jewelry suggests confidence that she'll carry those values forward. Service over self-promotion, warmth without performance, dignity under pressure, genuine connection with ordinary people. These were the qualities that made the Queen Mother beloved. If Catherine can embody them for a new generation, the monarchy's emotional legitimacy will remain strong. The situation also highlights the importance of Princess Alexandra's role. She's not a senior working royal in the way William and Catherine are. She doesn't make headlines or attract crowds, but she performed a crucial service by safeguarding the Queen Mother's wishes for over 2 decades and executing them with wisdom and discretion. Sometimes the most important contributions happen quietly, away from cameras and public recognition. As for Queen Camilla, time will tell how she processes this exclusion and what it means for her long-term relationship with other family members. She's proven herself resilient and determined throughout her life. She'll likely continue performing her duties with professionalism, knowing that her legacy will be judged by her own actions rather than by jewelry she didn't receive. The British royal family continues navigating the complex balance between tradition and modernity, between formal protocol and genuine human connection. This jewelry transfer reveals that beneath all the ceremony and pageantry, the institution still operates on deeply personal principles. Character matters, values matter. The choices made in quiet rooms away from cameras matter just as much as the grand public moments that make headlines. Princess Alexandra's decision to give Catherine the Queen Mother's personal jewels, bypassing Queen Camilla entirely, wasn't about creating drama or making political statements. It was about honoring a promise made decades ago and ensuring that objects carrying profound emotional meaning went to someone who truly embodied the values they represented. In doing so, she's helped connect past, present, and future in a way that strengthens the monarchy's emotional foundation. The pearl and diamond brooch that sparked this entire discussion now sits in Catherine's jewelry collection, ready to be worn at meaningful moments for years to come. Each time it appears, it will carry forward the Queen Mother's memory and the values she held dear. And each time Catherine wears it, she'll be making a quiet statement about what kind of royal she intends to be: steady, authentic, focused on service rather than status. That's a legacy worth protecting, worth honoring, and worth passing forward to the next generation. The Queen Mother understood this when she made her wishes known. Princess Alexandra understood it when she carefully executed those wishes. And Catherine understands it now as she carries these treasures forward into the monarchy's future. Sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest meaning, and sometimes the quietest decisions reveal the deepest truths about what truly matters. If this story moved you and gave you insight into the hidden workings of the royal family, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from inside palace walls. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Catherine was the right choice to receive the Queen Mother's personal jewelry? And what do you think this decision reveals about the monarchy's future? We'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, keep watching for the moments that matter most.